360 is a CSR initiative by BJA Training and organized by the Mask Leadership. My name is Nalinayagam, Senior Manager Quality from Oerlikon Friction System India Limited, Chennai. Leaders Connect 360 started with a specific objective of inviting 1,000+ leaders and create 1 million leaders. A hybrid model leadership community where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:00 p.m. we learn from top management leaders on Zoom Live, and once in 3 months at each city, we will have an offline networking meet to network, support, and grow with the leaders. That's when we call us leaders create more leaders. Currently, all are muted, and we will be giving an opportunity to speak to our guest, Mr. Sankar Arumugam, Deputy Manager, BASF Catalyst India. But before that, let me also share that we are currently live on LinkedIn, and this episode LC102 is being recorded. For the visitors who are joining the first time, you may also click on WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn link and the chat box to get updates on a weekly basis and join us in creating more leaders. Also, we request all our members and visitors to turn on your videos to see your smiling faces, which will help us in making this episode highly interactive. So, are we all ready to interact with our guest, Mr. Sankar Arumugam, Deputy Manager, BASF Catalyst India, on the topic of demonstrating integrity? Then please type yes in the chat box. Thank you. Before the introduction of the guest, let me also take the privilege to introduce the founder of Leaders Connect 360, Mr. Prakash Sharma, who will have an interaction with our guest along with our panel discussion leader, Ms. Vasanthi. I shall welcome all. Over to Prakash Sharma, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nalai. It's awesome interaction. And then great. Welcome you all, and welcome all the leaders, and welcome all the guests. Welcome the guest and the panel discussion leader as well. For our episode LC102, we've crossed more than 100 episodes now. And that now that we all are in here, and it's been great pleasure that we are having today Mr. Arumugam with us. So Mr. Arumugam, we welcome you, sir. You can turn on your video. That will help us.
Good evening, all. Thanks, Prakash, for your warm welcome. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to participate in this community. It's hope we will have a wonderful evening of discussions.
Definitely, sir. Thanks very much for taking your time from your busy schedules for our episode Leaders Connect 360, where you've been here with us today. Great, sir.
I thank all the participants too.
Yes,
and welcome all to this session.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much. And as we every time we start, in fact, we all have been interacting, and we all are aware, we start with a video of the guest. So this time also we'll start our video of the guest as an introduction, and then is where we start our episode along with our panel discussion leader, Ms. Vasanthi, on the specific topic, I would say that demonstrating integrity. And this is something where Mr. Arumugam has already been doing, and Arumugam is a role model for the demonstration of integrity. And that's the uniqueness of Mr. Arumugam. What is that is where in this panel discussion later along with Vasanthi, you'll get to know more about how and what is Arumugam's integrity values and what it is. So let's do that after a short video from about Mr. Arumugam. So let me share a quick video about our guest. Just a moment. So let me open up the video for you now and then take it forward. Yes, so that's a video, and after that video, we continue again. the leaders type in welcome Mr. Arumugam and welcome Dr. Vasanthi. Great. So on that note is where I would like to hand over this discussion topic to Dr. Vasanthi. And then we'll have a more deeper insights and understanding about our guest, Mr. Arumugam's, how he's been able to demonstrate integrity in his real-time experiences, which we all can understand and know more. But before that, let's keep our videos on as we always share. And we also will have a couple of more pointers in between. So let's stay tuned. And yes, Dr. Vasanthi, over to you to join the panel discussion leader. Welcome, Vasanthi.
Yeah, welcome Prakash and welcome Sir, Arumugam Sir. It's nice to be again connected with Leaders Connect. Yes, this is a very interesting topic and a most important topic, I should say, because in the leadership ladder, according to research, this comes under one of the important prerequisites of leadership in management and in the corporate world. So, and even Nelson Mandela once has said that, this integrity is the foremost thing which comes from within a person. And it is not that when it is shown outside, it is something from within. And even when someone is not watching us, it should be there, that integrity perspective should be there. And let me go on with whatever has to be going on, like integrity appears. In fact, a survey, as I said, Robert Hall Management Resources said that integrity is the most important characteristic, and be it the employee and the manager side. So when I was reading, coming across this concept, and I was supposed to be the panel discussion leader, I was reading some articles on a very interesting story which came to mind about a Chinese king who once wanted to have an heir through his throne. He was without a child, so he wanted to have an heir for his kingdom. So he sought out the most important or the most efficient people in his kingdom, and he said he gave them a seed and he told them, you have to plant it, and after 1 year you have to bring it to me. Plant it, nurture it, and bring it to me. Maybe so many of others also would have heard this story, maybe the repetition, but it was a very interesting story for me. And all the young people, all the handsome boys had taken the seed and they had planted it and they nurtured it. And after 1 year, when they came back, only one boy's plant was not sprouted, or it was the same as the way the king had given. Everybody else had flowered, bloomed very well, and it was well watered, planted, everything was there. It was very beautiful to see. Then this person, this particular boy, Lee, his name is Lee, and he said Lee was very sad, and what happened to only my plant that has happened like this? And then he knew he was not going to anyway get selected, because the best flowering plant is that person is going to get selected for the heir of the throne. And then this, to all the surprise of the kingdom people and the jury, the king selected this particular Lee, and he said, I am appreciating him for his integrity and his courage to come forth with that seed alone, because I gave him a boiled seed. I gave him a boiled seed which cannot flower, which cannot be nurtured, which cannot have any other, nurturing things. And so I wanted to test the people and to test their leadership skills, because to lead the country, I need a person with immense trust, courage, commitment, and loyalty towards whatever he does. So this was a very interesting story for me. And from this, I take over to the discussion to Mr. Arumugam and ask him, it's a very difficult, challenging question, sir, to be honest, to be challenged, to be integral, yes. Integrity in whatever you're doing, and how will you exhibit this in the workplace? First of all, that is the question for me. How is it possible to exhibit this type of a virtue in a workplace?
So good evening all, and this is my first interaction with this kind of platform. So yes. Some hiccups may be there, so I request you to bear with me in that things. So actually, integrity means nothing special we can do for that. Because as Vasanthi told, it comes from our inside, and it's the grit. Actually, integrity in the word also we have the grit. Okay, so it has to be, the grit has to be there, to be honest, I mean, to be, I mean, simple or you have to be fulfill our I mean expectations. So the basically we all commit several things, and how much we keep that commitment and how much we fulfill that commitments. There comes our, I mean, that kind of trustworthy and other things. It's actually, I mean, nothing to more to elaborate on. It's, I mean, it comes has to be, it has to come from inside a person. As Vasanthi told, it has to come from inside. And it's when you develop these basic qualities of, I mean, trustworthy and politeness, simplicity, and everything, then you don't need to wear a mask for this, for yourself. When you are real and I mean, actually you are presenting yourself to everyone, and no need of wearing a mask for yourself in any, I mean, anywhere. You can be on your own. And there is actually, when I actually, when I coming to this meeting, I just had, I mean, background or Googling or something I did. And some proverbs actually it comes. Actually, when you are giving a lie, I mean, when you tell a lie, and then all your, I mean, truths will be in questionable, like that. It's, I mean, it's a proverb kind of things. So for me, integrity at workplace is, I mean, keeping yourself committed for the work and contributing to the organizations in a most suitable way, and doing your work, whatever your, I mean, main tasks to the core in a proper and, I mean, timely manner and this thing. So that is my philosophy of integrity.
Excellent, sir. That is actually the difference between the honesty. People generally we mistake integrity to be very honest, but honesty is a completely different term from being integrity. And because honesty is more of what you believe, and integrity is action. That just as the way you said, how we are going to implement our virtues into actions. What we say and what we do, is it syncing, or it is going accordance with what we say and what we think and do? So excellently you had put it, sir. Can you just tell us any challenging situations in which you had undergone in your whole career lifespan, as to where you had conflicting situations where you were not able to think right and you were not able to exhibit also, and how did you overcome that such a type of a challenging situation?
Actually, see, when we are in a project because I actually basically I am from engineering background. So when we are into a project management, there actually a lot of situations will come for the to test your integrity or something. You have to compromise for something, and you have to do this, that. So project management actually it's a tricky thing, because either way you have to balance with the, I mean, the contractors, and in the organizational perspective and the workman perspective. Everywhere you have to keep a balance to have the, I mean, to have it to finish the project in the timeline. So actually, in that manner, when we are working in that project, we face a lot of situations with the contractors. They are not honoring to their commitment or something like that. And sometimes, I mean, we give them, I mean, we tell them, I mean, politely or something like that. Then we have to some little harsh or something like that. And they come with some gifting as or like that. So this kind of these things, it happens in the project management time. And that time you have to be, I mean, there actually I faced a lot of challenge in this. And in our day to day, actually manage my, I mean, environmental also. Uh, See, I am responsible for a lot of, I mean, pollution control equipment. So on an organizational perspective, it is actually a compliance critically, compliance. And we have to have some environmental also, because we have to be, the society also around us has to be safe. So around our, since we are, I mean, from a chemical company background or something, we have our own, I mean, responsible care codes for our operating this thing. So to have that and all, I mean, you have to be very mindful of the things we handle, and everything actually, even as you said, Vasanthi, this actually without, I mean, without anyone, I mean, anyone, nobody will be following or something other. Nobody will be, I mean, even though if it is no one is noticing you, you have to, that everything has to be imperfect. It is not that we, I mean, for the sake, I mean, government officials, for sake of others, or we do something like that, we comply other things. So it is our inbuilt, we have our responsible care system. So we care in that. So it is actually, I mean, it comes as a, I mean, lot of time it is comes as a challenge, because sometimes deviation may come from organizational perspective, and that you have to be very careful and I mean, very hasteful and honestly you have to do, because whatever you do, you should not do, I mean, harm the society or something. And that ethics actually I am strictly following in my career.
When we are talking about ethics, sir, ethics is one part of integrity and honesty and everything.
Yes.
When we are talking about ethics, we are following ethics. Okay, say Arumugam sir is following ethics, but it is not a reason that everybody should follow ethics or everybody should be in a very integral manner. How do you emphasize this particular value in your organization?
Actually, see, when you are keep on again and again, you are keeping your basics right, and then that unethical people approaching you will reduce gradually. So people will first they will approach, and then once we are they know this, he is actually, I mean, we are not going to do them anything favor or anything and unlawful or anything. We are not going to any other supporting them in any I mean anything for the sake of this thing or something. Then it will automatically, it will gradually reduces. So
Okay.
people once people will tell, one person will tell to the other person, no, no, he's then they will tell he's a sick person or something like that. So it comes actually. Then people will gradually, when fear they will have a fear of approaching for any unnecessary things or something like that. So if you practice the ethics and this thing coming into our way daily, and you then people automatically will realize. So
Excellently said, sir. I like the word you said, practice. Because only when we practice what we are having in our mind or what we are following, our principles, can we really exhibit them in our real life. And supposing a person, an employee in an organization is missing out so many opportunities because he's frank or he's very good in his job, he's committed, he's loyal, he's very sincere, he points out everything, whatever we have spoken about integrity. And what happens to, how do you motivate that type of a person? How will that person he will have challenging situations because people are going to push him down in the ladder, and there are people who raise up in unethical ways also. How will you deal with such situations in your organization, and what take we will give to that type of employee who was very sincere in his work or whatever, committed in his work, and he's showing full trust and loyalty in whatever he's saying, that is, he has a congruence with what he's saying and what he's doing. So what with that type of a employee, a positive employee, how will you deal with him? Because he's going to face failures, he's not going to have the same promotions, and how are you going to recognize such efforts?
Actually, these situations practically I have also faced this
Okay.
situation.
Thank
so
you, sir.
it connects to me also to an extent.
Oh.
but it never meant. But you see, when the people first, I mean, see, when you go up the ladder in anything, and then you have to come down, or it's a roundabout like things.
Yes.
So you cannot, I mean, if you cannot escape doing, I mean, bad, and you cannot escape continuously. Anyway, your turn will come. So like this good person, moral actually what, we give them good responsibilities. Even though professionally, I mean, he may be not, perks wise, he is not, so this thing, or some, in some other ways, some people comes or this thing. But work wise, and the respect that fellow has in the plant, everyone trust him. And even the trust, actually, when we don't know, people know, if the job is given to him, he will execute in a correct manner,
Correct.
and that integrity will always come into play. See, that kind of people, no, they don't never, that kind of people, they never bother about the works or the thing. They keep on doing their routines, time and again, they keep on routine. And always that management know who is right guy, and this actually, whoever comes in, other way, they will get exposed in some situation. So this
Okay.
transparent guy always stands, even though he was a step behind or something. But his position is, he is standing there in. He has that. I mean, he will be standing there, and his growth will be so a little bit. Slow, but it will be. Gradually he will grow. But if coming and in a fast track, people come in a fast track to upside, no. If they are not able to sustain in that position, then anyway they have to at one point they have to also follow the integrity, because there is no other go. Other way around for this. You have to be. See, you have to value the company principles or everything. So you cannot sustain if you are not doing the things correctly all the time, and you cannot sustain that. Your lies or anything, something like that. You will get exposed one day. So this actually, I have seen number of persons, whoever in that like this, whoever that integrity level, persons who has the integrity level very high, and their trustworthiness is in the organization will be very high, and the respect they earn from everyone. They actually, that people expect, that is the one. They don't never expect other things. They expect for the respect, and they work for their inner peace or this thing. So for that, they always that kind of persons, no, they never bother about the small things and all.
Very
They
well
always
said. Because how, from what you are saying, I can take it that a successful person does not value the money or the success or whatever brings addition, but more, he's more concerned about the virtues, and he's with the commitment or the values he displays in this organization, and how important he is to that particular work and his organization. I think that is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
And in a very critical, let me be very practical, sir. There are certain situations when we have to say something to satisfy our client, which does not go along with our virtues of organization, or which are not according to the standards of the organization. And can we take a step? How are we going to take a step in that situation? And will it take an unethical way, or how will we go about it in such a situation? How will he handle such a tricky situation?
See, again, if it is comes from a forcible decision or this thing, to an extent, you have to. If it is not suits you, then you can refrain. Always, you can refrain from do that. Okay, even though it's organizational perspective and this thing, you can always tell them. And anyway, definitely organization will carry out the activity with some other guys or something will happen. So that happens because in the practical aspects, if one person is very this thing, then if you actually manage whoever the top management, sometimes they may think, okay, it happens with also, but most of the time, if you are telling in the correct thing in a correct manner, in the manner in which you are communicating, there comes whether the acceptance. See, the real facts, whatever you communicate to if you are communicating it properly to them, and then most people will accept that, because I have came across several situations in that things. First, some sort of hesitation may be there, but when we tell them now the real fact and the real outcome of this decision, and what the gain, a little later it will arrive, then they will always accept. Okay, so there is actually this kind of tricky situation. There comes our leadership skill. You have to handle that very politely. Maybe at direct on a face, you may have to not to tell them, but in a polite and different manner, or you can always elaborate them about the consequences of that. Maybe to our own management or to this thing. This is what, see, once if you are want to consequences, then they are ready to face, then it is up to their call. Okay, so then we have to then we will have that we don't have our that guilty feeling. We have done something wrong. So that, see, we are ultimately we should not get the guilty feeling, and we have to communicate properly to our own management and whoever this thing. This is the consequences of doing this way, and this is the good thing doing this way. See, the two ways are there, whichever you can choose, but this is the consequences. Because when ultimate deciding authority, I am not the ultimate deciding authority, then my thing is restricted to show them the way. So this is the consequences of this thing, and then it's up to you to decide. The decision they will take.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate the point that you refrain from such habits, because always Prakash says we have to lessen our unproductive habits. And I think we are touching upon that concept, and he was telling we have to improve our productive habits as to how you said, be clear, be transparent in your transactions, and be open, and be very frank, as you told. I will tell them these are the points, these are the plus, these are the minuses, and very well, sir, very well executed. And from this, I take over maybe the last two points, and you can tell us, you were touching upon leadership. As a leader, how can I enforce my employee to be with such characteristics of integrity, and how will they exhibit? And as a leader, how will I do it from an employee perspective and from a leader perspective? What are the main points or main takeovers you will say as to how this can be in an organization?
Okay, Mr. Arumugam, I believe.
Yes. Actually, brief. I am not able to hear that.
Yeah. If you can repeat the question, Vasanthi. There was a network lag for him.
Yeah. Okay.
So the last question alone, if you can just repeat, that will help him.
Yeah. You were talking about leadership, sir. You said everything rests on the leadership. Yes, that is very true. As a leader, you have to direct your employees in the way they have to go. And how will you do it? My point is, how will you do? What steps will you take to do it? And how will the employee exhibit his integrity, or how will he exhibit it in the way which is most acceptable to the organization and to himself, to the growth of himself, within himself, and to the organization?
See, first, actually, we have to be, give them the trust or confidence. We are with you at all times. That comes in this thing. So our subordinates, this thing, whoever, peers or something, we have to tell them clearly, whatever this thing may be, we will be with you. We will this thing. That is actually one has to take the ownership responsibility. Leaders has to take this thing. See, if you have to be transparent. If you're transparent, tell me that this fact. If you mistakes, actually it happens sometimes, and always there is a possibility of correcting that. So if it is there, communicate properly, and that trust you have to give them. Even though if it is a mistake, then I am not going to do anything, any harm to you. You come to us and tell them the fact. Then we will support you always. So we will actually, we do that. We actually always hand away. We empower our persons. Okay, our subordinates, we empower them to make some decisions. And if anything goes wrong or anything, happens, then we take the ownership for that, and we always we will correct that. And once we give them that enough trust or confidence that we will be with you all the time, then they comes and report us in a proper manner. So we have to be very clearly describe our expectations about the work and other things. See, and how, our integrity part also, we have to explain them. See, how we have to approach this work and what will be this thing. Once that is clear and this thing, then whatever there may be some consequences may occur, but in that time, you do not panic. You have to give them confidence. You should not get panicked in an unforeseen event or happens or something like that. And you have to be always tell us the fact. Then once they believe you, you will support them. Then always they will come and they will be transparent to you. So first it has to come from the leaders to the subordinates. See, whatever this thing, I will hold you. I will not let you down. So that thing, say, if you give means, then they will always be transparent.
Yeah, it's a very important point. So that is, you're stressing on how we have to be concerned for the other person also. Because any misfalls which happen, you are also concerned about them, and whatever they do, you are committed to each other. That mutual trust and understanding and confidence you are telling, sir.
See, as a leader,
I think
actually,
that
as
is
a
the
leader,
basic. Yes.
As a leader, always when it is good things happen, the credit has to go to them, and some sort of conflicts or something happen, then that you have to take that this thing. So then once if you are doing in 2-3 times you have done that, then people will always blindly they become supportive to you.
Correct.
So once you are bringing them close to your heart, he will be like this thing. Then they blindly support you, because I have felt in number of ways. Once we have gained them confidence and whatever, even if sometimes if we hold them harshly also, they understand. This is not his regular this thing, and he won't personally, he won't felt injury or something like that. So he will always tell, okay, this is a work related this thing. And more often when I tends to connect with them to an extent to the personal also, because we have to think from their perspective, and whatever problems they have. See, first when they dull, and then first my foremost thing will be to approach them, ask what is your problem, anything, any issues you have today, like that. So we always try to be attached with them. So once they feel we are taking care of them, they blindly believe and they support you in any way.
Very well said. That is basically integrity. When I was reading, it says that you have to know the right thing. say the right thing and do the right thing. And for that, I think very much leadership comes into place, because only when a leader is able to, as you said, that confidence and trust and the transparency, will a person be able to do the right things in his life. He can be able to think right and at the same time implement right, because there will not be any hesitation as to why I have to do this, because my leader is there to be a supportive person and with me all the ways. And thank you so much, sir. I think it was a pleasure talking with Arumugam, sir, and you had given us actually very practical solutions to this problem, because you were telling from your industry as to how you have solved this problem, and it was very interesting talking to you, sir. Thank you once again, sir. Arumugam, sir, thank you. And Prakash, I hand over the session to you, Prakash.
Sure. Thank you very much, Dr. Vasanthi. It was really awesome. Great questions, very practical questions, which is also leading to a practical experience sharing from our guest of honor, Mr. Arumugam, today. And very wonderfully said, sir. And I'm really happy about what you have interacted, discussed, and really able to sense that things are only coming from your experience, and you're able to sense what and how it has been. True. Great. So on that note is where now it's the time for the quiz. Small quiz we'll take, and then for the quiz we have Ms. Archana Sriram. So I would request Ms. Archana to turn on. Yes, Archana has done already, and to share a small quiz on whatever Mr. Arumugam has spoken, so that we will be able to add value. And let's see who is going to be the quiz winner for this particular quiz of LC 102 on demonstrating integrity. So yes, Archana. So I believe you are all set for asking the quiz. I will unmute you. Yes. It's in. Yes, Archana. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Prakash sir. So hello everyone. Good evening. And my question is going to be in the chat screen. I hope you all have it open. It is going to be a fill in the blanks question. And unfortunately, there will be no option. So you have to type the answers. Fastest fingers first. But the hints will be provided. And the question is based on the interaction which we had with our panel discussion leaders and our leader here. True. So here is the question. I hope you all have the chat screen open. So on the count of 5, I'm going to pose the questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If we practice on dash activities always, the dash practices will reduce. Hint, for the first blank, the word starts with E, and for the second blank, the word starts with U. So little bit.
One. Ethics. Priyanka says ethics, first one.
Okay. But I'm waiting for both. I'm waiting for both.
Uma
both the answers. I'm getting only one.
Prabhakaran says ethical and unproductive.
Yes. And Uma says ethics. I'm still waiting. I haven't got the answers yet.
Okay. E, no? It started with E.
I will request those who have posted only one answer to post both the answers.
Okay. So the word goes.
Okay.
Practice
so
dash activities always. Dash practice reduce. Okay, good. That's nice.
So here we have Anand Kumar who has posted both the answers, ethical and unethical. So the others, please.
Yeah, that's something nice. Good, Archana. It's a good question.
Okay, so I believe that would be it. Or shall we wait for a few more seconds?
Yes, we can finish it. Maybe with whomever has received so far. Go ahead, Archana. So who do you think is most the right answer, the appropriate answer for both?
Well, we got only one right answer, so undoubtedly we'll be giving that to the other person.
Yes.
Ethical and unethical. Prabhakaran, you were almost there, but the only point was that you mentioned as unproductive instead of unethical. Otherwise, you were also there almost. In fact, you have been the first one. But okay. So we have the answer here from Anand Kumar N. That is ethical and unethical. That is the right answer. So if you practice on ethical activities always, the unethical practices will slowly, eventually eradicate.
Anand Kumar already is keeping a strong on there. Congratulations, Anand Kumar. Yes. That's been great and awesome. So you receive the Mask Leadership book as a complimentary for winning as this particular quiz. So congratulations, Anand Kumar. Great, great. Thank you very much for participating in the quiz and then joining it forward. So Archana, since you have taken up the quiz, you will quickly like to introduce yourself along with the guest of honor who's here with Mr. Arumugam, so add value, and then we take up the next. In short,
thank you
introduce
so much
yourself.
for the opportunity. So my name, those who would have been already listening, my name is Archana, and I have an experience into soft skills training as a freelance trainer as well as a full-time trainer. I also have experience into HR. And I have an experience of 10 years into the corporate industry as a trainer as well as an HR.
Great. Awesome. Awesome, Archana. Thanks very much for making it very lively. The quiz has in fact woken up so many people to give more and more answers, and it's a very lively quiz which in the fill in the blanks option. Thanks very much, Archana. That's really great. Yeah. Good on. So yes, and congratulations, Anand Kumar. And Anand Kumar, since you have really received the book, The Mask Leadership, as a complimentary, would you have any questions to ask our guest of honor? Also, feel free. So now is the time for open questions. So please feel free to ask any more open questions to our guest of honor, Mr. Arumugam, as well as our panel discussion leader, Ms. Vasanthi. In fact, both were really able to take up this respective topic very nicely. Any open questions on the specific topic, please feel free. That will add more value. So we have one, Ms. Uma, and after that, we'll also take next one. So Uma, yes, we give an option to unmute. Please go ahead. You can ask the question, Uma.
Yes, sir, it was a great session learning from you about integrity and demonstrating integrity. It was a great show. My question is like when the person in the top is unethical, he will always favor people of this nature. He will be downtrodden at people who's very ethical. In that situation, how to overcome such a situation, sir, being an ethical person?
Mr. Arumugam, the question clear, or maybe it needs
No,
to
you
be...
can. Will you please repeat that question?
Yeah. Uma, a small suggestion. If you can just keep the mic a little far, because we felt that mic was too close, so it was jarring. If you can just keep a mic a little far and then share your question once again, that will help us.
Or you can type the question also, Uma.
Yeah, you can also type the question also, if possible.
I think
But
that will be more easier.
Yes, yes.
It is quite lengthy, so I just think like I'll speak it out. Is it audible now?
No.
Yeah, it's audible. Yeah.
Audible, but
Okay, I'll type and send you. No problem.
Yeah, that will be really great if you can type the question also in the meantime. So in the meantime, as Uma is typing the question for all the members and visitors and all the people here, so let me share here that we have our next networking meet episode, the Rocket Goals 6.0, which is there here, which is at Bangalore, is going to happen on 11th of March 2023 at Sterling Mac Hotel from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. So please feel free to join us. We invite all the guest of honors from Bangalore, panel discussion leaders, authors, members. Feel free, you have any other known contacts there in Bangalore, you can request them to join. So it's purely a discussion which helps us to achieve our goals and achieve our respective vision which we have. So it's much of networking with all the guest of honor, networking with the panel discussion leaders, which help us to grow our own selves. So stay tuned there, maybe at Bangalore. That will add more and more value. And with that, let's take up the question also from Ms. Uma. Uma, I believe you should have typed the question by now. Great, Uma. A very timely approach. Thank you very much, Uma. The question of Uma, Mr. Arumugam, is the chat box.
Yeah. Actually, I have got the question, and see, always this kind of is again a tricky situation.
Very.
So that's what when I was telling about this thing, when somebody in the top is unethical, then you if you are not going to do much, then you have to show them just the way. That's what I told. You have to tell them the consequences then, because always if you are not in a decision making position and somebody else taking decision, then you have to guide them and you have to properly keep them informed of the consequences. That all that is when that is our limit, then we have to be, I mean, stick to that, and we have to start because we cannot do anything more on that things means, then we have to ensure that we should not feel the guilty or get this thing feeling. So always that some kind of say this kind of persons are there, and in an organization it will always come. But that kind of things, how much you are, keeping away from such things, that is the very important, and that will help you in this thing.
Excellent, excellent. Awesome answer. In fact, I really appreciate.
And I'd like to add one more point also, because the
Yes.
unethical person, the company cannot be successful as an unethical organization for long.
Correct.
People will come to know of it it can be only for a very short time, whatever practices they are doing. They will
Correct.
lose their brand value, they will lose their value in the market, and they will lose their own stake in the with their employees and the stakeholders also. So it is not at all possible to be unethical for long. Maybe small practices are there, but they will come down the ladder very soon, and their company will not survive long. So the best practice is being an ethical person and ethical practices in your organization. That is what carries the success of the organization and the success of the people.
True. Wonderfully said, Vasanthi. I completely agree. Great one. Just to add on, in fact, as I rightly said, one side is the company's head, and one more which we need to think is, we as a person, am I first ethical? That's what we need to think, and we cannot change other people quickly, and then that's how it's being. But yeah, very rightly said. First thing, let's think: are we ethical to ourselves? Are we really being so very transparent to ourselves? That itself will become much more, because
even
as
Arumugam sir,
said,
yes, as Arumugam sir was saying, those type of people will be the same wherever they are put.
Correctly said.
He was also talking about that they don't mind the money, they don't mind the whatever success, however it is. I am the way I am in my way, I am committed my way, I maintain my integrity, and that is what they are. So you cannot change such persons. And as Prakash said, you be yourself. Let others be whatever they are.
Yes. That's the only way where we need to be our own selves and then keep moving. That will make ourselves or demonstrate ourselves as a leader, and that will really showcase. And as what Mr. Arumugam said, we need to improve the trust levels of the other people on us, and that's what he is highlighting, that we need to bring in that trustworthiness amongst them. And this, when we start doing this, is where the trustworthiness will start. Great question, Uma. But it's very relevant question. Thanks very much for asking that question, Uma. Yeah, we understand that in bigger organizations this happens, but that's an opportunity for you to demonstrate and be true to your own self and open up and say. That's where Arumugam said with a lot of confidence, and Arumugam also said within that word integrity, you have one more word called grit, G-R-I-T. In other words, the courage to have in fact the kind of an integrity, to demonstrate integrity, we need to have the grit, G-R-I-T, within us. And very rightly said, Arumugam sir. Thanks very much for doing it so. Great. So any more questions before we come to a summary part of the episode of LC 102? Or if not, then we are continue on same. So Anant Kumar, if you have any questions to Arumugam sir, well, please feel free, go ahead. Otherwise, congratulations once again, Anand. You would like to introduce yourself, Anand, since you have also been the quiz winner as well. We are unmuting you. We're giving an option to unmute yourself. You can just quickly introduce yourself, Anand.
Hi. Good evening, sir. Mr. Arumugam, sir.
Good evening.
So I just thought of telling you one point. When you talk about ethical and in companies, when you are not able to maintain the ethical, big corporates or even big government, there is something called an option called whistleblower. Okay. So our intention is to not wound or harm the environment or the other people. Okay. The bigger corporates too, they have a whistleblowing policies, and so people who are trying to be ethics, maintain the ethics, and if something is going wrong, they always use this option to publicize the practice, unethical practice, which is happening within the company to the media or to the open public. Okay, that is the advantage, which in today's scenario you get that option. So you can always, you need not be quiet or calm when something is going wrong. Okay, you can always, even if it is a prime minister or even the president or even CEO, CTO, you can use that option called whistleblower. There are a lot of companies, a lot of people who got caught in this particular practice because of this whistleblower. There are companies which have made huge penalties.
True, true. So what's the question here, Anand? So yeah,
Question, no, I'm going with Mr. Arumugam. So ethics and that is always better to keep.
yeah,
It
okay.
is
So
always
you're
better to
sharing your
keep.
view.
I'm saying,
Ah.
we shouldn't feel aloof, like that you are fighting alone, or So
True.
yeah, that is the reason.
So if you can just type that on the chat box. What is that name of the
No,
association?
actually, it's not about tolerating that kind of people. See, some person, if that's what I'm telling now. So when I mean, which way you are able to this thing, whistle blowing, okay, I accept that whistleblower will be there, but when you blow the whistle, then how much it will be shared? That comes there.
True, true.
To what? How much distance it will be cleared, and
இல்ல
what
சார்,
kind of
இல்ல பெரிய
decision?
கம்பெனி எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா டாப் லெவல்ல மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் லெவல், ஐ திங்க் பிரபாகர் தெரியும் நினைக்கிறேன். இந்த மாதிரி வந்துட்டு பாத்தீங்கன்னா பெரிய லெவல்ல சீனியர் பீப்புள் வந்துட்டு ஆடிட் லெவல்ல இருப்பாங்க. there are people the whistleblower name will not be disclosed, அவங்களுடைய ஐடென்டிட்டி will not be disclosed, எல்லாமே they will be continue to run. நிறைய இன்ஃபோசிஸ்லாம் கூட பாத்தீங்கன்னா
that's okay, because some sort of this thing that is I mean it is there, but in wherever I worked, and actually because I worked more, now presently I work in a German company who is very strict on the compliance and related things, and wherever I work, actually I don't have this thing, because small conflicts it will come, and always that I mean that whoever doing I mean unethical things, they get some in mostly in our level itself, it gets curbed, and the top management as such directly we have not felt they insist upon doing something unethical directly, because top management and they never enforce us to do something unethical, because everyone knows about the now there are I mean the laws, everything is there. So mostly they know, because they don't allow us to deliberately do something. They don't want to do, because that kind of knowledge and know-how also, people I mean general public know-how also has increased this thing, and maybe some big corporates they don't in their operations, they don't do anything. I think they may be doing some money kind of things that we don't come to know, because that is I mean the finishes in the top level itself. They don't come to the operations level. So, so operations level to an extent they don't deviate much as such. I'm telling now the corporate, they don't deviate in the operations level. They may be doing in a financial level, but I have not felt.
True. Just to add on, in fact, Anand Kumar, it's a very nice question which you asked. Just to add on to what Sir says also. See, integrity again depends on are we supporting another organization in terms of ethical or unethical practice. If there's another organization whom we are interacting, they are getting into unethical practice, but for our organization to grow, our organization work to get done. That's again, this is where certain, in fact, recently also Infosys also, they were fighting a lot, nothing against a person or against a company. Let me also not tell the company's name. But if you could see this, that's when they were also fighting against the government, that why all this is happening is we need to reduce this. We need to bring in more transparency. So powerful leaders' role at the top manage becomes that, can we start overcoming this and bring stop into this? So that is what people are making steps and doing it. But yes, as you rightly said, Anand Kumar, at certain top levels, still things are happening. That's when our great leaders, we need to really build in that kind of a courage and then stay with it. And what we need to do it, and then how do we overcome it? We need to start taking steps and measures. And rightly said, maybe whistleblowers to a certain extent, yes. But how long? That's what Arumugam said. How long? So, but we need to come out with steps, which takes really more and more courageous. So that's when, in fact, one of the certain discussions with even government officials also are happening. People are taking it. Many more serious steps are taking it up, Anand Kumar. But a good point to discuss. We will touch base again more later, Anand Kumar. Anand Kumar, if you can just share your background, that will help us to know. And quickly introduce yourself, Anand. Anand? Okay, is it you're muted? Oh, okay, fine. I have given Anand.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Okay.
So Anand, but it's a good question. So you can just introduce yourself, Anand.
Yeah. So I run my own company called GSM. Okay, it's a recruitment firm, and we've been just for the last almost 22 years, and we've been supporting our clients on their resource identification and stuff. Okay.
True. So
we maintain the integrity.
Thanks for introducing yourself.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
Great. We'll stay in touch. Yeah. Great. Anand. You're coming for the first time. I've been here last time also. You came, right?
Yeah.
I'm yet to see you.
We met.
Yeah, I'm
first one.
I'm missing again. Yeah. Correct. This time then we missed you. We missed Parthasar and all this time.
How was the event?
Very nice, very good event which was happened the last Saturday. Thanks very much for asking. Maybe after this episode, I'll share it with you more deeper. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Anand. Thanks very much. And so with that, we'll come to an end of this episode, LC 102, I believe. And thanks, Mr. Arumugam, sir. That's been really great interaction which we had with you. So I would request Ms. Priyanka Bhatia to quickly summarize what are the key pointers and takeaways from this episode. And then we also do the word of thanks for all the people who have joined us today. So yes, Priyanka, over to you for a quick summary of the episodes.
Hi, good evening all. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, first of all, I really want to thank sir for taking this beautiful topic. As we all know, integrity is very important for all of us. So I would like to summarize the point. As sir said, in integrity, we have to be very honest and fulfill our expectations. Commitment and trust is very important.
True.
Keep yourself committed for the work and doing your work in a proper and with time. Balance in the work is very necessary. And sir gave the beautiful example of the project in which he took the responsibility and accountability for his own actions. Arumugam sir also said a very important thing, that doing the right thing through our words, actions, and belief that no one is watching.
That's a wonderful point.
And practice and encourage open and honest communication.
True.
Also, sir said very important thing, that practicing ethics is very important. Deal with the conflict properly, be a team player, and take accountability for your actions. Always respect others when you're working in a team. Valuing honesty and trust in the workplace is very important, and sustainability in the workplace is also an important thing when we work together. Doing the thing in a correct manner, communicating honestly, and be trustworthy what you are communicating. And while communicating, politeness in the words is very necessary.
Yes.
And respecting the privacy of colleagues in private conversation is also the important thing for the leaders. For leader, ownership, trust, and confidence has to be taken. And sir said, if any employee did a mistake, then the leader will support and work on the decision.
Yes.
Once the employee will believe that the things will go smooth, and leaders will never let them go down. So in that case, the employees get that confident, the leaders are always there with them. So thank you so much, sir, for such a beautiful session. And for me, integrity is a very important topic. And thank you so much, sir. Over to you, Prakash, sir.
Thank you very much, Priyanka. It was awesome, quick and a short summary which you did. Kindly introduce yourself, Priyanka. That will help us know you as well amongst others.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Prakash, sir. So my name is Priyanka. and I'm working as a senior facilitator soft skills in Ambuja Cement Foundation. Overall, I have 7 years of experience. And earlier I was working with Mahindra Holidays and Resorts India Limited as a member relation department. And after that, I changed my job and I came to Jaipur. I was working in Nangia Group of Companies as a senior marketing manager. And then I joined Ambuja and now I'm working as a soft skill trainer. So thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Priyanka. That's really
Thank
great.
you.
That's a good summary as well. And we missed one question, Mr. Arumugam. So one question from Mr. Prabhakaran. So that is one which Mr. Prabhakaran, I believe I missed your question there on the chat box. So was that a question, Prabhakaran, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, I understand. I mean, all the time we have been given that integrity is something which cannot be compromised on any individual.
Correct.
That being said, why are so many deviations or why are people being tolerated in organizations who are found to have poor integrity?
Sir, Arumugam, sir, we can just take this last question if it's okay with you. And then we come to an end.
Actually, I have answered this question and I will repeat again because it's not about tolerating in this thing. See, when you are working in an organization or a group, and there may be you may be having different types of people, and you will come across a variety of peoples and this thing. Some in one of the some of them may be in some unethical or something like that. The integrity is low like that. It's we have to ensure that their behavior does not affect our team and the organization perspective. That is what actually important. See, that people also know slowly we can bring into group. It's not that we cannot bring into anyone and this thing. So that kind of people also. So when we keep them, you have to be get them, give them more focus, and you have to be watchful and with them. See, when you know he is deviating away, then you have to be always keep a watch on this and some sort of, because you should not, you can communicate to him. These are the thing. These are not good to our team as well as organization, but still he can he is continue to do that. Then we can always communicate to the management or something like that. So about some things, because see, one person's action should not affect all the others or the organizations. So always it is better to first you have to be, bring in him into the group. If it is not possible, then you can always take up to the next level. What kind of this thing can be done with them?
True.
Thank you.
Very rightly said, sir. In fact, rightly, Prabhakaran sir, in fact, you would have also got to know the answer there. So, true. Oh, you're muted again, Prabhakaran sir.
Thank you so much, Arumugam sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, awesome. So, thanks very much for all for being in here. And before me playing the one last thank you video, this is one for all. In fact, every time we end with our thank you video to our guest of honor and all the members. But before we share this word of thanks through a video, let me also share what we do as what is the purpose of the community. And in fact, even Mr. Arumugam sir has joined us again. So yes, so this Leaders Connect 360 online leadership community is a complete hybrid model leadership community where we also learn from top management leaders and we network from our top management leaders, and that's how every leader grows constantly and continuously. So what we do is we also meet every 3 months once, and an offline meeting which last time which we have conducted in Chennai, which is the last week on Saturday which we did, and the upcoming which we have is on 11th of March 2023 at Bangalore, where we network with people, interact with them in each city, and with all the working professionals, so personal, professional, and the social needs. And that's why we call this as leaders creating more leaders. So if you wish to join our community, please feel free to join or connect with us through the links which has already been shared with us on the chat box. So once again, if you want to let me share it with you, so it helps us to do so. And then we can also interact with all our people through the LinkedIn as well. So last Wednesdays of every month, we also ensure the episode we have network with the like-minded people and reflect on this. So that is the next week, the next Wednesday, we have the last Wednesday of the month. So we are going to network in the format of NOEL method. So let's network with all the working professionals, all the people who are coming here in the Leaders Connect forum over there, and interact with them, know with them each other more deeply next week. So I would like to thank all the guests of honor, panel discussion leader, and spending and investing more of a valuable time and sharing your experiences and solutions. So we also especially thank you for all the people, visitors and members who have joined us, and keep continuously coming, and do invite your other known members that will help us to grow this community more and more. So with all that, so Mr. Arumugam, if you'd like to share only one word about our community Leaders Connect 360, what would that one word be, sir? And with that, we end our episode LC 102.
It's wonderful.
Okay, well, that's a word. So,
it's a wonderful.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Arumugam.
Thank
sir,
you. Thank you.
Wonderful
Thank
session.
Yes, it was really a great episode and insight. Thanks, Arumugam, sir.
Thanks, Prakash, and thanks, Vasanthi, and thanks all the participants. Thank you, one and all. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you
Good
all.
night. Have a
Been
good
great.
night.
And
Good
with this,
night.
we come to an end. And good night, sir. Thank you very much. We only want to have an introduction now. Just quickly, people who are joined us recently, we can have a quick intro of each other that will help us and take it forward. We have also Mr. Suresh Pugulendi joined us. Oh, hi, sir. People are joining one by one now. Good one. So thanks very much, Arumugam, sir. We just go to interact with each other. If you wish to stay back, that will be really great. Or if you have a hard stop, completely fine, sir. It's really been great being here with us today.
Thank you.
So, team, so let me stop quickly the recording, and with that, we start.